If your schedule is crazy, you still need to be getting your workouts in. On this week's episode of the Exercise is Health podcast, we're explaining to you exactly how to do just that. We're going to cue our introduction and dive right into this conversation. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Exercise is Health podcast, brought to you by Muscle Activation Schaumburg. We're your hosts, Charlie
and Julie.
And today we're discussing this idea of getting your workouts in even when your schedule is crazy, whether it's holidays or travel or work or social commitments or whatever else may be going on this time of year or any time of year. If your schedule is crazy, that does not abdicate you from the responsibility of still needing to work out on a consistent basis. But the big question is, how do you go about doing that? Today, we want to lay out 3 simple steps for you to follow to do exactly that. And we want to let you know that if what we are talking about today is something that you are ready to start taking action on, that's exactly what we can help you with at our studio, Muscle Activation Schaumburg, where we specialize in muscle activation techniques. So all you have to do to see our availability and get on our schedule is go to our website, www.matschaumburg.com. Click the big green button that says Get Started, and you can schedule yourself for your initial MAT consultation and assessment. All right, so when it comes to scheduling your workout, when it comes to getting your workouts in, I should say, when your schedule is crazy, jam-packed, it can feel like this is nearly an impossible task. Like you already are in short on time. How in the world are you going to add more in? And particularly something that may or may not be very exciting to you. Like you may know that you need to exercise, but you may not be particularly thrilled about the idea of going and exercising. Don't worry, these steps work even if you fall into that category of like, yeah, exercise just doesn't do it for me. I'm not looking forward to it. These steps still work for you. And the first thing you need to do in order to actually get your workouts in is make the decision that you're going to work out. If you're wishy-washy about where you stand of like, maybe I'll get a workout in today, or I might work out a couple times this week, like you need to be solidified in your stance that, yeah, I'm gonna work out today. And guess what? When you can at least approach your workouts with that mindset, when you can approach the rest of your day that I'm going to get my workout in, it's incredible how many things fall into place that ultimately allow you to get your workout in because you're saying, for me, this is a non-negotiable. I'm going to get my workout in. I've made that decision, which means I have cut off all other possibilities of not getting my workout in. The only thing left then is for me to get my workout in. Step 1 is you need to make that decision in your mind and have that be the reality of the world, of how you view the world. Today, I'm getting my workout in.
That's right. And when you make the decision that you're going to work out, it really makes it a priority. Really, because especially I think a lot of people, like, they do want to exercise and then the holidays come or they're busy, their schedule gets really busy, and then they're like, well, I just didn't have time, right? And really, if you looked at it, you did have time. It's just other things got prioritized on top of it. Like, honestly, like even before I became a mom, I would look at my schedule today and be like, yeah, you don't have time. But really, I do. But at the end of the night, when I would maybe have time to get on my cycle bike at home, I choose to prioritize spending time, with my husband for a little bit rather than to work out. But I could use that time to work out, right? Or I could, there's there's all these things that you can prioritize. And so when you make the decision to exercise, that you're saying, hey, this is a priority. And really, I think like the consequences of making that a priority are much lower than what we sometimes make it out to be. Like, I know a lot of times in the holidays we have family coming in, or, we get to do unique things that only come around once a year. And that's what we tell ourselves. This is only once a year. Like, I can't miss it, right? But you taking 30 minutes away from that time to focus on yourself, get your movement in, is actually not that big of a deal. And in the same time, it is a big deal for later. Because so many people, they spend so much time not exercising during the holidays, and then they feel really funky after the holidays, right? It's like they spent so much time not maintaining their body that it starts to break down later. So really just taking that 30 minutes, maybe away from your kids or away from cooking or away from prepping your home, feels like, oh my gosh, I could never make that time up. That's why I can't work out. Really, it's going to be okay. Your health will thank you for spending time on your exercise. And so making that decision that you're going to exercise even during the busy time, even during this time when, it might not come around till next year, it's going to be okay and it's going to feel really good on your body.
Absolutely it will. So that's step one, is you need to decide that you're going to exercise. Then step two is you actually need to go about scheduling your workouts. Now I know this can sound a little bit tedious and mundane of like, oh, do I really need to pull out my calendar and like type in when I'm going to work out? Maybe yes, but maybe no. Because there's actually a couple ways that we see work really well for people when it comes to scheduling. And it doesn't have to be as like strict and militant of like, okay, every Tuesday at 11 a.m., this is when I'm going to work out. The first way is called a rock, all right? And rock scheduling is the thing that you put in your schedule first and everything else fills in around it. So your workout is the rock in your schedule and then you fill everything else in around it. So sometimes that's like, hey, every Tuesday at 11 a.m., I'm going to get my workout in, and then, whatever kind of meetings or social gatherings or doctor's appointments or whatever it is, like it does, like that rock doesn't budge. And so that can be a great way. And honestly, we see that people tend to be most consistent when their workouts are rocks in their schedule, but it's not the only way to go about scheduling your workouts.
That's right. The other way is making your workouts a filler. And then this one's going to be kind of tricky if you actually do feel like your schedule is really packed right now, because a filler is when you look at your current schedule and then you fill in what's open with a workout. But this is really tricky if you look at your schedule and you feel like there's no open times, because in the name of it, you're like filling in open times. A rock, you would like find time and open it to put this thing in, right? And it's not going to change. So a filler is really good if you feel like you have more open time, or you have some rocks that are already in there, like a doctor's appointment or something that's set with this or that. But then you have some openings in your schedule, and that's when you can fill in your workout. So for this time of year, this is the holiday season, we really recommend that you choose to schedule with rocks in your schedule.
Exactly. Another way that fillers work really well is when you're looking like weeks in advance. When you're like, okay, cool, like I know that, this is what my schedule, these are the openings that I have 6 weeks from now, 8 weeks from now. And you just start filling those in, those openings in now with when you want to work out. But if we're talking like short notice stuff, which is, over the next, really for like the rest of 2025, then we're going to be looking more at the rocks. And so there's a couple ways to go about approaching rock scheduling. One, the most common way is called time scheduling. And that's where, again, it's like Tuesdays, 11 a.m., Thursdays, 6 p.m. It's day, time, this is when I'm doing it, okay? And then you fill in everything else from there. But the other way you can go about doing it is called event scheduling, okay? And this does allow for a little bit more flexibility, so long as the events that you're scheduling around are also rocks in your schedule. So what does this mean? This means before I eat breakfast, I'm going to go for a 20-minute walk. All right, so there's like you have the event of breakfast in your schedule. And then before that happens during the day, you're going to go walk for 20 minutes, okay? After the kids go to bed, I'm going to lift weights for 30 minutes in my basement. You have the event, and then it's after. So event scheduling is either before an event or after an event of things that are going to happen during the day. After work, I'm going to stop at the gym. Before lunch ends, I'm going to go to the office fitness center, whatever it is. It's a before or there's an after, and those things are going to happen because those are like rocks in your schedule, and then you are able to put the workout either immediately before or immediately after them as a way of scheduling your workout without saying, this day, this time, this is what I'm going to be doing.
That's right. So pick one of these rock scheduling styles to make sure you get in your workouts. Remember, it can either be time scheduling, like every day I'm going to meet my buddy at 8 a.m. at the gym to make sure we get in our 30-minute workout every weekday. Or it's going to be, hey, after I get the baby down for a nap, I'm going to start my workout. So it's got to be either scheduled with its own time, or it's got to be scheduled lumped together that kind of has its own time. So it's lumped together with another rock in your schedule. And that's one of the best ways to make sure that you're going to get in your workouts, especially during this time of like, there seems like there's a lot going on. Some people feel like there's a lot scheduled and some feel like there's a lot of not scheduled, but it's still a lot going on. And getting it in, again, is not as big of a task as we might think, especially if it's scheduled and it's in your head and it's decided that it's going to happen.
That's exactly right. So step one, we have decide that you're going to work out. Step two is schedule your workouts. And then step three is don't overcomplicate this whole thing. When you go to work out, keep it simple and keep it focused. All right? Keep your workouts very simple. Don't be thinking about like, oh, okay, well, what's the great progression that I should be making from, the last time I did this workout, or, what weights did I work at last week? What weights should I be doing this week? Anything like that, all right? Just like meet your body where it's at. Look, your schedule's already crazy. There's enough on your mind already. Just go to the gym or go to your basement or go to your living room or go to your trainer, wherever it is, and start to get something in. Keep it very simple from a structure perspective, from a progression perspective, from a what you're doing during the workout perspective. You don't got to do all these, fancy like drop sets or, I'm going to do, like a whole bunch of exercises in a row to make sure I get the, this full circuit area, anything like that, right? Just keep it very simple. And while you're there, stay focused. Keep it focused. Don't get caught up in the chit chat. Don't get caught up in checking your phone. Don't get caught up in your to-do list of what you're going to be doing, as soon as you finish your workout. Be like, hey, this is my time. I don't have much of it. So I'm going to completely lock in on getting done what I need to do during this workout. And I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm just going to go and I'm going to get something done. And that is this third step to make sure that you keep getting your workouts in. Now, the great thing about this step is it is a very simple step to do when you have a framework to follow of like how to go about structuring your workouts. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking with you about next week. In fact, how to go about structuring workouts that are around 20 minutes in length that you can get in from home, at the gym, wherever you're at. But once you have that framework, then you can start to just kind of plug in the different exercises that you want to do, and the rest takes care of itself.
That's right, Charlie. Having a clear plan before you, enter into your workout really helps you like just do it, right? Instead of being like, oh, I wonder what I want to do now. That's a pretty good way to waste some time. So make sure you know what you're going to do. Join us next week so we can share with you the way that we structure our workouts. If we have about 20 minutes, what are we thinking? And it's kind of a plug and play model so that you can figure out what exercises you need to get done and plug them into this framework. And that'll be a great way to be like, all right, check the box, check, check, check. Especially now during the holidays or when you feel like you're in a really busy season, you don't have that much time to focus on your workouts. It's a great time to get into maintenance mode, get into, all right, keep it simple mode. We don't need to overthink this, but we do need to show up and do it.
That's exactly right. So if you're wanting our guidance with this is what we can help you with at Muscle Activation Schaumburg, our studio in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, where we specialize in muscle activation techniques. So all you need to do to see our availability and get our schedules, go to our website, www.matschaumburg.com. Click the big green button that says Get Started, and you can schedule yourself for your initial MAT consultation and assessment. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week, everybody. We know that this time of year things are crazy, so we always appreciate you taking the time to give us your attention every single week, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Your attention means the world to us, so we thank you for that. If you wouldn't mind leaving us a rating and review on wherever you consume our content, we are always greatly appreciative when you do so. We are wishing you a fantastic week, and we'll talk with you all next week.
This podcast is for information purposes only. The statements and views on this podcast are not medical advice. This podcast, including Julie and Charlie Gates, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse effects from the use of information contained herein. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast does not make any representations or warranties about guest qualifications or credibility. This podcast may contain paid endorsements or advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to herein. If you think you have a medical issue, consult a licensed physician.